All right. This is a test. So those of you that are watching, so we're back, but I don't know if you can hear me. So I don't know if this is doing anything. Can you guys hear me now? So this is Jenny Norris with coming at you with Home Staging Talk Show Live. So those of you that are watching, I know there's like a 10-second delay. Can you let me know if you can hear me? That would be great. So that, oh, we can hear you. Okay. So you guys can hear me now. Yay. So, yeah, so hang on a second. I gotta write to the broadcast people. Thanks. I figured it out. Okay. All right. Welcome to Home Staging Talk Show Live. I'm Jenny Norris, your host. Home Staging Talk Show Live is brought to you by the International Association of Home Staging Professionals. Home Staging Talk Show Live is a weekly conversation within the industry, talking to people who have businesses, who support our businesses, people who might have parallel companies and so forth. And we just like to have a conversation about what's working, any challenges people might be having, and just provide a place for an ongoing dialogue for the industry. So we have a great show for you today. We are going to be interviewing Joseph Sipp, and this is week 2 of a series that we're doing on the rise of the young stager. So Gen Z, which they call the plugged in generation because they've been plugged into devices and so forth since they were born, is attracting this to this industry. And so we're going to talk to Joseph. We talked to Liv Conlon last week at the ripe old age of 19, has a big business in the UK. And Joseph lives here in the United States. He's from Orlando. He's only 18. So we'll talk about how he got started and what is it about the industry that he believes is attracting the younger people, and also all about his business. So really excited to have him on with us today. Please share this segment with people on your page. If you just hit the share button on Facebook, and you can share it to your page, that allows us to reach as many people as possible with the show and the information. So we greatly appreciate that. Before we get started, I do have a few announcements, and so hopefully this will work for me here. First of all, we have our conference. Okay, so the conference coming up in October 3rd, 4th, and 5th in Nashville. So it's gonna be really fun. Music City. So we're gonna rock your business in Music City, and ROCK stands for resources, opportunities, connections, and knowledge. And so you'll receive all of that plus more. Get your tickets now because the tier 1 tickets are on sale. And then we also still have VIP, some VIP spots available. So those of you that are purchasing your tickets, your registrations now, very likely you will also be VIP, which is very exciting. The VIPs will have a special place they sit in the front. They'll also be the first ones in line for our meet and greets, which brings me to our next announcement. Hopefully you all saw this. These are our keynote speakers, our celebrity keynotes. So we secured Candace Olson, as a lot of you knew. I'm going to adjust this a little bit. Candace Olson. And then we have Tom Felicia and Carson Kressley coming to speak. And so they will be sharing on Saturday. They're keynote speakers Saturday afternoon. And of course, Candace will be there Friday. So as you're making your travel plans, make sure that you plan to stay till the very end of conference. Otherwise, you're going to miss Tom and Carson. You don't want to miss them because they're highly entertaining, but they're also very savvy business people, and so is Candace. And so it's, we're in for a real treat to be able to hear about how they built their business and also some inside information on their shows and so forth. Plus, there'll be a meet and greet with photos following their talks. So very, very, very excited about that. If you want to get a ticket, you go to IAHSPconexpo.com, which is IAHSP, IAHSP, conexpo.com. So throw that up there now. Make sure you get your tickets. The hotel that we're having it in is called the Gaylord Nashville Hotel in Opryland, Nashville. And it's a beautiful hotel. They're actually remodeling it. So the section that we're going to be in for our conference, because if you've ever been there, it's quite a large footprint of a hotel. There's different wings that go off. So we're all going to be in the same wing, if you will. And the one wing that we're going to be in is being remodeled right now. It'll be ready by the spring. So we'll be one of the first groups to use it this year, which is very exciting. So make sure to get your hotel room reservations. And if you are interested in room sharing, I know some people have asked about that. We do have a conference page that you can join once you register and have a ticket. We can put you into this conference Facebook group, and then you can message people and let people know that you want to, share a room or, whatever. We definitely want people to connect through there, and we'll be reaching out to people as well who are newer, making sure we get everybody connected before the conference, which will be fun. So again, that's October 3rd, 4th, and 5th. Following the conference, we actually will have our advanced stager training the 6th and 7th. And so that is actually a collaboration between 6 different industry leaders. And I meant to put this up here. So I don't know if you guys can see this or not. I don't have the picture. Bummer. So anyhow, 6 different industry leaders. And let me get rid of that. Okay. So it's myself, Janet Usselton from HSRA, Joanne Leonard-Weary from the JLW company, Marianne Cherico, who is the stager business coach, Catherine Lewis-Brown, who is the successful stager, and Melissa Morrow, who is rave staging and design, and she also teaches classes as well. So the 6 of us are coming together to sort of facilitate the workshop, if you will, and it's for 6+ figure staging businesses. So between now and October, let's say you're not there yet, but you hit the goal in October, you would be eligible to come. And of course, we have a lot of people who are already in the 7-figure, and it's going to be 2 days. And so it's a much more intensive, smaller group than the overall conference. And the topics we get into are ones that pertain to people who have a larger business. And it's mostly the conversations within the business people, being able to talk to each other with your colleagues, because you'll find that people have similar challenges, and then how they're handling it or solutions they found work that you hadn't thought of. That's a big part of this. Plus, we'll also have some outside speakers come in to share on business productivity, marketing, and branding, and so forth. So it's going to be really good. That is a separate ticketed event. So that is the 6th and 7th. That's Sunday and Monday. Your ticket will include your lunches on Sunday and Monday, and then dinner on Sunday evening. So that's going to be really, really fun and very productive for everybody too. So make sure that you take a look at that. The other thing I wanted to announce, I had the graphic on my, before the show wouldn't work, I had the picture, Shop Wholesale Market. So you want to learn how to shop wholesale market. We have April 8th in High Point. We're going to be doing a tour. And so those of you that are interested in learning about how to navigate the market, how to work with the different companies, who to target, how to set up accounts, how do you read those tags on the furniture, what do those initials mean, what are these things, what are the terms, and so forth. Those are all the things you're going to learn at market. And also we're going to direct you to the vendors that have special arrangements set up with our association members that will save you a lot. Like we have negotiated stock dealer pricing with just about everybody. And you don't get that normally unless you do a large volume with the company as an individual. So we've negotiated that, as well as some of them have no minimum. Some are doing additional discounts off stock dealer. Some have minimum opening orders that they've waived. So there's a lot of perks that we have set up and worked out for you. So that is going to be April 8th in High Point. And then we plan on doing a tour in a couple other markets as well, which will be exciting. So if you're going to be going to High Point Market, or you weren't going and now you want to go, make sure to join us for that. And you can find that at shopwholesalemarket.com. So shopwholesalemarket.com, or you can find it on our site as well. So that'll be really exciting. Okay. So with that, I think that's pretty much all my announcements for right now. And if I'm mistaken, somebody message me and let me know if I forgot anything. So Krista and Lindsay, if there's anything else I need to share, let me know. Okay. So with that, I'm going to bring Joseph on. So Joseph, are you ready? Okay, here he goes. There he is. Good morning.
How are you?
I'm good. A little frustrated.
Yeah.
I don't know what was wrong with work. Fine. I went out of the broadcast and just came back in. So obviously technology is not perfect, and it's always fun when it's live.
Yeah, because you can't fix it.
It's just like to go with it. You do a live show as well, though, too, right?
Yes, every Monday at 12:30.
So do you do it through Facebook Live? Or
yeah, we do it through Facebook Live, but we actually have the guests come into our warehouse, so we don't have any issues. It's all, we're doing it all. So
right, which is nice. I know. This one, Be Live, I like because you could do the split frame. You can add
that's really fun. You can do the pictures and stuff like that. I like it.
All right, let me see. So here you are, the rise of the young stager. So this is Joseph Sipp, everybody. So tell everybody, where you live and a little bit about your background.
Most definitely. So my name is Joseph Sipp. I am 18 years old and I own Systematic Home Staging. It's a home staging company based out of Orlando, Florida, but we literally service anywhere our clients need us within limits, So that's kind of where our business plan is. We specialize in vacant home staging, but we also do some occupied walk-in talks and services for the occupied properties. Our main consumer, our main client is the real estate agency and the real estate agents, and we target a lot of builders and investors. Those are where our big hub is for our clientele.
Okay, so Joseph, I'm going to pull up a couple of pictures here. So here is your team. And so you have this is a good picture. I like the dog. What's the dog's name?
Baxter.
Oh, that's so cute. So he has, I'm putting this, you guys can kind of see he's got a team. Your newest addition, your newest baby here is your truck.
Yes.
Which is awesome. So how many feet long is that?
That's a 20-foot long truck. We also have a 16-foot truck as well for smaller jobs. And then we have a transit van also.
That's awesome. Okay. So I have some more pictures we'll throw up here in a second. But so people are, obviously you're 18 years old. You had to get special permission, I remember, to take our class because you were a minor, right?
I do remember that.
Yeah. So at what age did you decide, I think I want to be a home stager? Were you like 16, 15? How old were you?
16, I think it was. I was 16 when my aunt was finally like, there's a business out there, So when I was younger, my parents used to do investment properties, and I used to literally grab my comforter off my bed, lay it down on the floor, and people were like, oh my gosh, a queen or a king bed could actually fit in here. So I used to do that when I was younger. I would literally grab my shower towels from my bathroom and put those out in the bathrooms at the properties that they were remodeling. And then we got so much feedback about it oh my gosh, this is, it just makes it look so much more inviting. Like I never thought a king would fit in here, or the nightstand, So I would get like boxes, like the Home Depot cardboard boxes as nightstands, and just like throw like a curtain or a towel over it. And people loved it. I had no clue what I was doing. I was 8 or 9 years old at the time. And then when I was 16, my aunt owns a staging company as well. And she was like, you've done this your whole life. Why not try to make a company out of it? So I was like, okay, I'll try it. Not knowing anything, not knowing one clue of what I was doing, I started the company, and then I took the course with you guys, got involved in some associations, kind of got my support groups, surrounded myself with people that had like-minded like me, people that have been in the industry, and just got feedback and started the company. And then we just got busy. I'm very grateful.
And you just graduated in May?
Yeah, I graduated last year in May, correct.
So, I was saying this to Liv last week, that you're not the average teenager. Most teenagers that are 15, 16, 17 are, they're going to school, hanging out with their friends, they're playing video games. Yeah. They're not thinking necessarily running a big business. But by the same token, so I have 4 kids. So they're 19, 20, 23, 24. And, when they're, teenagers, they're trying to figure out what they want to do, what their path is. And so, Of course, you were probably taught like I was. You go to school, go to college, you get an education, get a job, and that's your life. And so at some point I was, you probably, I'd always wanted to be an entrepreneur, but I didn't, I didn't figure all this out till I was 38, started my own business. So the fact that that is now being cut about in half, even more than in half, the time frame, and these kids are figuring this out. So, I mean, I know you have, I don't know if you can give me an exact number, but I'm interested to know the Gen Z generation. Do you find that a lot of your friends are more entrepreneur minded?
No, honestly,
No.
I like everyone says I'm an old soul in a young body. I'm very different. Like with the business side of it, like the way I run the business and stuff, like no teenager, like no teenager knows like business model. They know. So the way I see it is like with millennials and whatever generation I'm in, every day it changes. Some statistics I'm a millennial, some statistics I'm the other generation. So
I think they would say you're a Gen Z, which is the plugged in.
yeah, that's what people are saying, and some people are like, "You're millennial if you're born in 2000." I'm like, I don't know, whatever I am,
Yeah.
I'm not that.
Right.
So, yeah, so it's just I see people like the millennial and the Gen Z or Gen X, whatever. They don't have that mindset. They don't see work as a value. And I hate to say that, but just like with my friends, like they don't. They're just like, oh, I want to make money, but I only want to work like 3 days a week, a few hours here and there, like, and I just want to be rich and famous. I'm like, listen, like it just doesn't just magically appear like just out of nowhere that you're rich and famous and you work 3 days a week. So that's the way I see it. I mean, there are some of my friends that I surrounded myself around. That's what I always tell people that are like, how are you doing it? It's like you have to surround yourself with people that have a good head on their shoulders, and you can't surround yourself around the bad crowd. So
Right.
people I used to hang out with, one of my other friends, he is interested in starting a business. I'm helping him get his business started and stuff. So the people I hung around with, they were a nice crowd, and they have the same mindsets, but sometimes they just don't ignite it.
Right. I mean, I was laughing because one of my boys, exactly. I said, what do you want to do? And he says, I want to make a lot of money, but I don't want to do anything. And I said, well, then you're gonna have to write a song or come up with an invention that has like royalties and stuff, because you can't have a lot of money and then not do anything for it. So I think the mindset is, because when I studied the demographic groups, the Gen Z is one that they said that they weren't going to be going the traditional route, that they fully expected a lot of entrepreneurs to come out of that generation, and that you guys would be moving around a lot. You'd be sort of what they call nomadic, and so maybe not planting in one place. And then the other big part was that you wanted to make a difference in the world. So those are sort of general, things that are assigned to that age group. And I, of course, have a couple of kids that are the Gen Z right on the cusp, and then a couple that could be considered millennial. But, that whole entrepreneurial spirit, it's pretty cool that you were able to figure that out. So I know you had people in your life that understood the industry that could help give you guidance, but you still had to be the one to say, I'm going to do this.
Exactly. Yeah. You have to have that mindset where people think like, oh yeah, you had your dad, you had your family, but it's like, yes, all that works, but if you don't have your mindset, that means nothing. They could have fed me all the information, gave me all the money that people think I got or whatever, and it's like none of that means anything if you can't proceed that and have a drive for what you're doing and overcome it. You can have all the money in the world, but you don't know where to use it, and then you don't have that drive to continue with your company. So just have that drive is, I think, what initially was like, I'm going to open a business. I'm going to do this. I'm going to structure it like this. And I've always had that entrepreneur mindset. My dad, he owns his own business. Like we were talking about before, I had a pet sitting business before the home staging. I got rid of that to another pet sitting company. I put that money towards this company. So that's kind of how I got the ball rolling with the whole company side of it. And then it just went from there.
Yeah, and it's funny because Liv last week, she was, I think, buying and selling stuff on eBay when she was like 13.
Yeah.
So she was also doing entrepreneurial stuff. And my youngest is very much like that. He likes to, make money, do things. He's always been sort of like, wanting to have a business of some sort, but just sort of figuring out what is that business going to be.
Yeah, what is it? You don't want to get bored of what you're doing.
Right. And so I said last week too, I think it's really cool that that this business in particular, you can be 16, 17 years old getting started. And then there are a lot of support networks to help. And I love that you said you surround yourself by like-minded people. And because that is super important. There's that old saying that where you will be 5 years from now depends on who you are surrounding yourself with, and the books you read and the people you listen to. And so being with like-minded people. So what does that mean to you when you say like-minded?
Like-minded, I mean people that have the same passion, like the younger, like if I know any young real estate agents that I know a few that are like not my age, but they're a little bit like, 25, 30 or whatever. Surrounding yourself around those people that kind of know where you're coming from, people that started their business at a young age, know the struggles that you went through, so you can get good advice. And the other thing with like the like-minded is surrounding yourself with people that have a good head on their shoulders, not the crowd that's out to get in trouble, out doing illegal things, doing drugs and stuff like that. Surround yourself around the people that, I want to get through high school, go out and make the world a better place, go out and make a name for myself. I was born to help people, build a name for myself, and leave a remembrance. And making people around you the same way like that, it just helps you one up everyone else, just to have those people the same way. I'm going to go out, make the world a better place. I'm not going to stop until I get to the end point.
I think, what is it? A rising tide raises all ships. You ever heard that saying?
Yeah.
And so you're like the rising tide. So that's true. When you surround yourself with like-minded people, and everybody has more of like the positive focus,
Exactly.
you'll raise each other up versus drag each other down. So did you have anybody in your sphere tell you you were foolish, or what are you doing? You're not going to be, didn't anybody try to be like a naysayer at all?
No, I mean, the one thing is, like, I went to a private high school where numbers matter. Numbers are everything.
Right.
You have to go to college. You have to get a certain thing on your SAT. You have to do this. Numbers are everything for the school. And I was kind of breaking the norm, because the normal timeline is you go to school, you go to high school, graduate college, and then you find a job, just like how you said. And I was the only person in my family, out of my immediate family and my whole entire family, my mom's side and my dad's side, that is not going to college. So to tell my family that I wasn't going to college, they were like, what are you talking? Hold up. My dad, he went to medical school. My mom, she went to school. Everyone in my family all went to school, where it's like, I told them, they were like, that's not going to work out. I was like, well, let me try the business out. If it doesn't work, I'll go. I'm not saying I don't want to. So after I did the business and showed them what I could do as a young kid and build a team and manage everything, they're like, you know what? College really isn't for you. And that's the thing, where college isn't for everyone. I could go on that for days, because I tell people that all the time, is if you're getting forced to go through school, and you're not even going to be using what you're going to do, I don't see a point in it. Like with me, there would have been no point for me to go for 4 years to get a piece of paper and then come back to my office that I own and hang it up. Like I did the reverse. Usually you go to college to open a business. I went to high school, then opened a business. So I kind of took a part out, where that screws up the whole timeline of what the stereotypes say. So it was difficult. Like my SAT scores. Going to school. Managing the business, it was very difficult. It really was. And then missing school days, I ruined the statistics for the school. Oh, well, now our graduating class isn't 100%. It's 99.9 because of Joe, So it was just one of those things. I never really had anyone that was like, oh, you can't do it. But obviously people that were like, what are you talking about? You're going to business, like, what are you doing? Like, are you sure you want to do that? Like, just questioning, are you sure this is the route you want to take? And I said, yes.
Which is really smart, because I know a lot of young kids are trying to figure out what they want to be when they grow up. And there are some kids that, from a really young age, they know, I want to be a doctor, I want to be a fireman or whatever. But there's a lot of kids that are in that age group that are trying to figure it out. And, college, as you said, is not for everybody. I think, you definitely have it. You gain an experience, you gain education and so forth. But I always even point back, how many people actually use their actual degree that they got in college. And so I was a psychobiology major. I was pre-med.
Oh my God.
And then, and then my dad was a psychiatrist. He just passed away. But so I thought maybe I'll be a psychiatrist, but I don't want to go to medical school. I'd be 32 when I finished. And back then it was really old, right? So I know I probably used some of my psych degree, some of the psychology aspect dealing with people, but there's a lot of people, you get a degree to kind of, they say, to be a more well-rounded person, but you can also accomplish that by surrounding yourself with other like-minded people, reading books, gaining knowledge. So it's not like you're not absorbing information and knowledge. And I know you do, because you've gone to a lot of different events and you're soaking it in. So talk about some of the things you've done to help support your business journey, your growth. What have you tapped into?
So what do you mean by that question? Like
the associations, and like HSRA, IAHSP, you've gone to events. And so how have going to those helped you?
Honestly, that's what has brought my business to the next level. And because you can't do it alone, just with everything, you can't do anything alone. So going to these events and going to the conferences and going to the masterminds, you grab so much information that you bring back to your company and you're like, I need at least to choose 3 of these things to implement, or I'm going to change my whole business model if I try to implement it all, you know? So it's just picking those few things that you learn and you grow upon and say, hey, how can we implement this into our current way? Different ways to make staging easier, installs easier, logistics side of it, office platforms, you know, call dialogues, securing clients, how to get new clients in the door where you don't just know it, you know, you just don't have it over time. You've got to train yourself just like with anything. And that's how I tell my parents is my education. That's how I'm educating myself instead of college. That will grow my business and not something else.
Right. And you mentioned the mastermind. So I know Jana, so she'll be at our advanced stager training. And and I had emailed her that, you know, we always see each other kind of like in passing, like the markets and stuff. And so the time I have invested with her, I like to say the word invest versus spent. She's a wonderful person. And I know that that group, the HSRE, what they're offering, you know, the advanced, I don't want to call it, you know, classes, but there's something that you tap into. I don't want to call it just coaching because it's much more than that. It's a whole business growth plan instruction. She walked it, you know, has lived it. And so then being able to turn around and teach it to other people, I think is extremely valuable.
Yeah, and that's the thing, when you have a question or something, you need an immediate response. You know, like, oh, the team is out on a job site. What do we do? And it's like, I don't know. Let me figure it out. Let me call, you know, so I'll call other resources, other stagers that I've connected with, coach like you or Jana or whoever I can call and have that resource of that happened to me 3 years ago. This is how I did it, you know? So that's the thing, going and meeting people and building your resources, just like with any industry. If you're a doctor, you go in. If you're a dentist, you go and meet dentists. So if you ever need to refer work to each other, if you're an artist, you go to artists and you meet different artists to see if you can collaborate with each other. And that's the same thing with home staging is you want to collaborate with people that are on the same level. Right.
Or where you want to be.
Exactly. I have so many companies where it's like, I want to be way up there. I want to go above and beyond that company. Because it's like, I want to dream big, because if you dream little and achieve them, you're not going anywhere. I'd rather dream as big as possible and reach that goal. And then it's like, oh my gosh, like I reached the biggest goal that I want. So
and then set another one. So and then the IAHSP conference, so we have you know, a large group that comes, and we have our regional chapters and so forth. And so and there's, you know, there's education that we offer through the association, through the classes. But I feel like, you know, being able to tap into multiple avenues and not sitting there trying to figure it out on your own is super wise. I mean, you're very young to have figured that out this early, because a lot of people would be like, I'm going to do it myself. Nobody's going to tell me what to do. And that's your ego preventing you from being like a sponge. Yeah. You want to be like a sponge and soak it in. But then you've done identify people that you say, I want my business to look like that one, or I like what they've done with their business. And so you have something to shoot for. And then at the last conference, I had played that video called The Journey. And so it says, when you reach the mountain, you know, climb another mountain, like set another goal.
Exactly.
You know, and always have something. And it doesn't always have to be money and business related. It could be like, when I achieve this, then I'm going to be able to help other people or travel or do some other aspect with the business. Right.
Yep. No, that's exactly what my mindset.
So let's talk about age, because Liv talked about this last week a little bit about how people didn't take her seriously necessarily in the beginning because she is young. And so she actually did things to her appearance to make herself appear a little older, like cut her hair shorter. And so, which I thought was interesting. So have you run into any of that where people take a look at you and say, this is a kid, what can he do to help me?
Yeah, definitely. So when I first started, it was a one-man show. You know, just like with anything, you're moving, you're driving, you're staging, you're ironing, you're doing it all. So at the beginning, it was very, very, very difficult going into properties and saying, I have no portfolio, I have no warehouse, I have no furniture, but hey, you know what? I want to stage your house, and you need to pay me $2,000, $3,000 to stage your house. And it's like, that's not going to work out, you know? So that was the hardest thing of going into job sites and not having anything to present, no collateral, no marketing, you know, nothing to show what my company can do that they're about to invest in. So after time, finally, one person, one of the realtors we still work with today, he was like, you know what, I'll give you a try, you know, because he started at the same age I did and he went through the same thing. So he gave us a try. He loved it. He loved our first property. referred us to someone else. That person referred us, and then it's just a referral program. Then I have a portfolio. Then I have business cards, and it's just getting your foot in the door to your first client.
Right.
That was hard. Now, it's not even about me anymore. It's about my team, and I'm still heavily involved in the company. I'm in the office every day. I go on job sites, but my team is the face of the company still, and that's what I've wanted to transition my company to, where it's not, oh my gosh, I need to talk to Joseph. I need Joe to come to my house. I need him to do the consult, where I like how I tell everyone, I'm the tree trunk, I have different people. I have an office operations manager. I have a staging coordinator. I have stagers, designers, assistant stagers, photographers, I have movers, logistics, where I don't have to go move furniture anymore. My logistics are the face of the logistics division. My stagers are the stagers division. My office is the office, So when people call, they're not always like, oh my gosh, is Joseph available? It's like my office can take the call and handle it if I'm out doing something else. So now it's really, they don't even really ask. It doesn't really matter because they see the quality of work and the caliber that we bring to our clients, and the age which really doesn't define anything anymore.
And so I call that first realtor that gave you an opportunity. The phrase I like to use, I call it an advocate on the inside. So this person saw the potential, became an advocate for you, and then helped spread the word.
I really like that.
Mm-hmm. And I got started. That same thing. I had one realtor that was finally like, I like you. I want to help you.
Yeah.
And that one person then helped me get my business launched. Yeah. So the advocate on the inside is amazing. And I like to, not having to be on site everywhere. There's still people that, in fact, just this week I was dealing with this where, consultation, and I was supposed to do it Monday and I wasn't feeling well. So one of the other team members did it, and it was this big disappointment to the realtor that client. And I said, but they still, and I didn't want to delay it, but it doesn't have to be me going out. I understand, why they may want me, but I have 4 other people that can do consultations. They do the setups. And so, that, being able to wean, I guess it's almost like weaning your clients off of having you, right?
Yeah, because like how we do it is I do all my new consults, so all of my new clients, I still go out and secure the job. So it's like, oh my gosh, the CEO is meeting me, Wow. And after we secure them, they work with us. From there on out, we have Sue Ann, our operations manager. She'll go out and do the consults for our current clients. Once they secure us, they see me, they see the quality of work. Now I know I have them under my belt where I can go and say, you know what? Hey, you see the quality of work we do. I'm going to have Sue Ann or someone else go out to do the consult because I'm tied up securing new clients to help you.
Right. So, yeah. And so it's defining the roles, because otherwise, and those of you that are watching, I don't know where you are in your business growth, but the goal is, you eventually, depending if you want to get larger, you do have to delegate.
And that's one thing that you have to learn very soon is hire before you need to. I budgeted for my first few months to hire my first person that answers the phones. And then I hired someone else to do the staging. And then we hired someone else to help the stager. And then because we were doing multiple jobs. And then from there, we found, the office needs some more help. So we hired someone else for the office. So just making sure that you have that plan in place as who's going to be your first hire, the person that's going to answer your cell phone, because you're going to be out on job sites. Someone that does everything. That's my first employee. She would help move. She would drive the truck. She would answer the phone, secure clients, because we were a smaller business. And now we have different divisions and different departments as to if a new client comes in, that goes to our office, and then it just gets transitioned to the rest of the team. So just building a team is what runs your company.
So talk about your team. So let's see, add to broadcast. Get in there. Broadcast. Get in there, picture. It's not adding. So you have, I was trying to get this picture to go back into this frame. It's weird. Okay, so it looks like in the picture that I showed earlier, you have three ladies and 2 guys in the picture. Is that your whole team now, or is it bigger?
No, we've grown since that picture. So currently we have myself, we have Sue Ann, our operations manager, we have Peyton, our staging coordinator, and she does some marketing. We have Rachel, that's our lead stager. We have Taylor, that's our lead stager. We have Elise, that's one of our designers. We have Gil, our photographer. And we have Rick, our mover. We have Joe, our mover. And then we're in the process of hiring another stager, an assistant stager. So we should have about 10 or 11 full-time, part-time people.
And did you find these people? Are they from friends of yours? Or how did you find these people?
So one thing that we started doing is we did stager open houses where we just had one last night. So we like have we put all the information out, everyone applies, and then we're like, hey, you know what? Come to the open house, see what the office looks like, see the working environment, and then our stagers. I let my division, like if it's a staging job that's open, I let my stagers hire the person because they're going to be working with them. So if there's a stager position, we'll have all the stagers here, we'll have all the applicants here, and they'll just talk to them, just be like, hey, like, what have you done with staging, and if they like them, perfect, we'll set up an interview. And then, it's kind of just like, it's like speed dating. That's what they said yesterday. It's like, yeah, we'll go around the room, see who we like, and it's actually, you are in the job site, you're in the job site and stuff like that. And it's honestly just applicants. I don't like hiring my friends, like good friends, just because I don't want to ruin a relationship and I can't reprimand them if needed. But there's some people that like I may know and like, oh yeah, I remember you, or like I'm like friends with you. Then that's kind of what we'll do for that. Or if the stagers know someone that they might have met or something, that's kind of how we do our hiring process.
Yeah, because they're all well, not all of them. I would say they all look around the same age group, but so it looks, they're all 20 somethings roughly.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. Our stagers are in their 20s. Our office is in their, I don't know how old Sue-Ann is. She's 30 something. I don't know. And our movers, yeah, she's old. I know. She hears me over there. And then we have our two movers that are in their 40s or something like that, and our designers in our 30s. We try to keep it a young group, just because it is a fast-paced job, and
right.
You need to be on your toes 24/7. Jenny, you've been in the business yourself. It's never ending.
Yeah, it's kind of scary. I think you're 18, and I've been doing this 17 years. So you were one. You were a year old. Oh my gosh, that's so funny. Okay, so talk about systems you have in place too for your business. So what kind of like operating systems that have helped you streamline?
Yeah, so that's one of the things that we're still working on today. Yesterday was a crazy day. We were destaging. We brought some pieces there and there. So yesterday we'll throw that out of the loop. That was a bad example. But our normal process from a client calling in, securing the job, we'll have the client will call in, speak with Peyton or Sue-Ann. We'll secure the client, get them on the schedule for a consult. I always like to go out to the houses so I can actually feel, touch, and see everything, meet the client, build that one-on-one relationship with them. And then from there, we send it over to Sue-Ann or Peyton. They'll work up a quote. Then once they approve it, it goes on to our stagers. They will go out and pull the pieces, and then they go out and install it whenever they're scheduled. So that's kind of the process. And then after we go out and stage it, we do the live video. We do thank you cards, handwritten thank you cards. Then the paperwork comes back into the office. Peyton will put in a 30-day follow-up. So whenever we go, we'll call back and follow up and say, hey, how's everything going? And then 3 months later, we'll let them know that their contract's expired. And then the day after staging, I reach out to every client and just make sure it was a 5-star diamond quality staging experience. So that's kind of the process from a client calling in to a client getting their furniture out.
Right. So those of you that are watching now or in the future, you want to play back what he just said and stop it midstream and take some notes, because he talked all about from the very beginning, the marketing and the follow-up, meeting the client, securing the business, the handwritten note. I always called it the power of the pen.
Yep, exactly.
People don't do that. Power of the pen, send a thank you note, and then it's that constant drip, the follow-up and making sure that the client's happy. So you covered quite a bit. You covered the marketing, the sales, the follow-up, and the client management of the relationship, which all has to come into play because, depending on who you're working with. So how much of your business would you say is investors versus realtors referring you? Is it?
So our business, it's on it. I don't know the exact number, but our main hub is new construction investors. So I would probably say 80% new construction and investors. That 20, 25, 30% would be realtors. But all of our referrals are coming from our realtors because they're the realtors that are selling the properties or something like that. And every time that we get a client, we're like, so how did you hear about us? How did you find us? We want to know, because then we'll market more money or more marketing efforts into those streamlines. A lot of people say, oh, from this person, or I saw your truck driving down the road, or I found you on Google. So now I know I need to invest more money into Google or maybe getting another truck as a billboard, where that's where the stream of line of revenue is coming in from those aspects of things.
Right, which is really smart. So referral, you keep, you make one person and, the positive word spreads. So the referral and then rewarding the referrals, saying thank you, or maybe the next time, I used to have a program that was like a punch card, stage 10 with me, get one free.
Yeah.
And it didn't include inventory, but that was like a way to thank them for their business. But it's also, you could do a referral recognition as well. And then the branded vehicles, let's see if I can get this to go in at all. There it is. So his vehicle's branded. So you can see this thing rolling around town. This is the big one. Then you have a smaller one. Then you got the baby. And then on your personal vehicle, though, I don't know if you could do signs, because I know you got a new black. What kind of car did you buy yourself?
A black Mercedes.
Yeah, and it's
I'm not putting stickers on there.
Yeah, 3 or 5 series, and so beautiful car. But even if you don't have a big truck like this, you guys are watching, you can put magnet signage in your car, because that does bring you business as you're branding yourself. Driving around, just make sure you drive well when you're
drive safely.
You don't want to get the calls. And then I do want to show some of your work, because again, people think, oh, this is a kid, what does he know? And you went from covering up boxes and things at 8, 9 years old to then with furniture. So let's take a look at some of the work. I just pulled some pictures from your business page on Facebook. So beautiful living room grouping, very beautiful contemporary style furniture. I love the chairs with a little bit of the fuzz on, the texture. And so is this pretty typical of a look for you?
Yeah, that's more like our modern look that we'll do with the grays, the silvers, the metallics, and furs.
Yeah, it's really pretty. And then here's one of the bedrooms here. So I know that Sandra Holmes would give you an A+ for your for your bed, because she's all about like making sure it's tight and not wrinkled. But I love this bed. I love the platform bed.
Yeah, my team knows my standards, and if it's wrinkled, I'll make them go all the way back out. Even if it's an hour away, they will still go back out there to fix it. And with this client, they didn't want any artwork because it wasn't new construction. So unfortunately, we won't be able to put any artwork up.
I always find that funny when they say that, because artwork, I tell them artwork is like the layer that helps bring your eyes up. And if, at Joanne Lynn at the last conference or 2 ago, she talked about how if all the colors down here, if there's nothing up to draw the eye, you lose the vertical space if you don't have artwork. So I know, and I understand the builders, we don't want any holes in the walls. It's like, well, that's why they invented spackle.
Yeah,
right?
Very easy.
And we're not putting like molly bolts in. We're doing like, hooks and things that are not minimal. But this is very nice, beautiful, beautiful staging. And then I pulled this one too. I love this table.
Yeah, that was really nice. That was fun.
Yeah, and then even the thing on top, the round, the wood. So you kind of had carried that in with even with the accessories, the wood tone. So a lot of these are obviously the flip properties.
This was actually that was a new construction one.
New construction.
Yeah, that was a new construction property.
Okay. And then I had let's see if I can get in here. So see, I'm gonna pull more in here. So I had pulled a bunch of your pictures, and then I was like frantic trying to get live. So here's another one. This is more of the upholstered furniture. This is the same, looks like a similar sofa. So you use a lot of the neutral tones.
Very neutral. Like our inventory wise, I'm very blessed because I started 2 years ago where we knew we needed to go all neutral, all neutral with the pops of color being pillows, a decor and stuff like that, because it's more expensive to rotate out furniture if a blue sofa is in inventory and that's trending. We have a few blue ones, but who knows, that trend may go out. The tans and stuff like that, it's easier to keep neutralized.
So your sound dropped just a little bit. Are you guys able to hear him okay? You're just all of a sudden the loudness diminished. So I just want to make sure people can hear you okay. Huh?
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you. It just it was louder, and then it just kind of went soft when I put that picture up. Okay, so here's another one. This is really great. I love that set.
That was fun. Yeah, that was an investment property.
That's great. And so on the colors you use, the blues and the greens, we use a lot of that too, and the whites and the silvers.
Yeah,
so that whole color scheme is it's very on trend, first of all, but it's also safe because it's male female.
Yeah, it's very gender neutral, and that's what we tell all of our clients is keep it gender neutral, because you don't want to be age specific,
right?
Or you don't want to be gender specific just because you don't know the demographic that you're staging for.
Right. Yeah. I mean, sometimes you can tell, like if it's a house that has a lot of bedrooms, you think, okay, it's going to be a family. So it's probably going to be an
Yeah,
older millennial, a Gen Xer. But even with that, they still want things that are on trend. So, um,
exactly.
so you have been in business. You just celebrated your second year recently, right?
Yes, second year.
And so how many houses, because I saw this on your page, so I know, but how many houses do you have out right now?
Right now, we currently have 78 or 79 currently staged. Our first year in business, we staged 87 or 88 properties. No, we actually have 79 currently staged. Sorry, 79 currently staged. Our first year in business, we did around 83. Last year, we did 287 or 89. These are just vacants, and in our consults and all of that we do as well. And this year, currently, we're almost at, I think, 80 almost 50, 60, 65 properties just this year so far.
So yeah, and so which is amazing. So I remember my first year, I think I did like 85 projects. No vacant houses were being done back then. So it was all hands-on and consultations. Yeah. And then the next year, everything tripled. And I love that you know your numbers.
Yes, I'm very numbers based for stages.
Well, you have to be, even people that aren't naturally like that, you have to know what your production is.
Yeah.
You want to know, where is your revenue coming from? So if you know, like I know my business is roughly about a 65% vacant, 35% consultation balance.
Yeah.
So at the end of the year, I'll look back and I use, what are some of the apps you like to use on your phone, for example? Like what's your favorite management app?
We use Honeybooks for everything.
Honeybooks?
Yeah, Honeybooks. We use that for our whole business is based upon Honeybooks. It's a pipeline process, and you can assign projects to certain people. So when we have a project that needs to go from me to Sue-Ann, then back to Peyton or whatever, and you can assign those things, and each person has their own dashboard, and you can kind of see where that project flows to. So like you can see like you have 4 new clients that have consult scheduled, 37 quotes currently out for staging, and then payment made. We have like 11 payments made, stages 79 or whatever, and then D stages, and then the people that are in like production, like where is our project? What's the next step of?
So it's like a flow chart type.
Yep, exactly.
Everything.
It's very visual.
Is it mobile?
Yep, it's mobile. Everything. It's really it's a user friendly.
So it's Honeybooks, like a honeydew.
Yeah,
Honeybooks.
Honeybooks, I think. Yeah, something like that.
Look it up. So one of my favorite apps that I'll show, see if you guys see, it's my Google Calendar.
Oh, we use that too. That's our life.
So I call that my brain. And the great thing about it is you can share it with other team members. So I share it actually with my delivery company. They know where they have to be. And then I have 5 different emails. So they don't see all of my personal stuff, but they see all the business appointments.
Yep.
And so then it would archive. So Google used to archive it back like forever. Mm-hmm. Now they only go back 1 year. So the challenge with that, so I'll just share this with you guys. The challenge with that is if you're using that for like tax purposes, for example, if you ever have somebody like you get audited and they're like, we want to see your schedule, proof that you went all these places. I used to be able to pull up the phone and you could go back 5 years and go, this is everything. Yeah. Now it's gone, but you can download it. You can go to you can go to your page on Google, your account, and you can actually download the archive of your calendar. So just FYI.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. So, all right. So any last words you want to share? I mean, it's amazing.
Thank you. Honestly, the one thing I always tell people is don't give up. Don't give up because you never know. I've been through a lot of stuff with my business that, I've kind of was like, should I give up? Should I just, close doors and say, go to college and finish high school? But you just can't give up. If you have a passion for something, go with it. Go with what your gut's telling you. Go with your passion because you can't let negative people and other things hit you and ruin you, because then you won't achieve anything. So just never give up and live each day as your last. That's what my dad's always told me is just live your day as your last because you never know when your time is going to come, so do what you love every day just because every day is you're in jeopardy. You never know if you're driving and something happens or you never know if one day you just don't wake up. So just always live your day as your last. That's what I say.
Which is true. You want to live every day with a purpose and not that you can't have fun. So hopefully you are also taking time to.
Oh, no, I am.
and have fun.
I
But
am.
so it's amazing. So thank you so much for joining us, and hopefully those of you guys that are watching got a lot out of it. And I hope to see you at conference
Yes,
in
I'm not
Nashville.
thinking yet, but I need to. I need to.
Yeah,
I'll do
get you registered. So
Yeah.
thanks, Joseph. Thanks so much for being on.
Yeah, you're so
Appreciate it
welcome.
so much. And so the rest of you guys. So again, our conference. I don't know if I put this up because I had it up before. So it's the October 3rd, 4th, and 5th in Nashville. So get registered now. The VIP Tier 1 tickets are available. Put myself back in there. If I take my picture out, then you can't hear anything. So October 3rd, 4th, and 5th. We also have our wholesale market tour April 8th in High Point. So register for that to learn how to shop market. And of course, the conference the 3rd, 4th, and 5th. So we have some great events coming up. Just check your social media pages, check your emails and so forth, and your text messages. And of course, we announced this week our 3 fabulous keynote speakers for celebrity, Tom Felicia, Carson Kressley, and Candace Olson. So Candace will be on Friday. Carson and Tom will be on Saturday afternoon. So as you guys make your travel arrangements, make sure that you don't leave Saturday early because you'll miss out on seeing Carson and Tom, and you won't want to miss them. So it's going to be a lot of fun. We'll put the official schedule up probably next week. We're working on just all the final fine tuning of it, but you don't want to miss the event. It's going to be fabulous. And we're really looking forward to it. So thank you so much, Joseph, for being on. Thank you, all of you who tuned in. And again, please share this segment with those in your sphere. Share it on your page. We want to reach as many people as we can with the Home Staging Talk Show Live. So we'll be back next Wednesday with another younger person, continuing our series on how the industry is attracting that younger demographic and generation. And we'll have some more great information to share. So thanks, everybody. We'll talk to you next week. Bye-bye.